Good evening and very warm welcome to all our viewers and our both the esteemed guests. I'm so happy to host this evening. My name is Bharti Chauhan, Director, India Coaching Federation and Success Torch Private Limited. India Coaching Federation is bringing this leaders talk, and we are live right now through LinkedIn and YouTube channel, wherein we have the intent to bring real transformation so that challenges of life can be resolved really inside out and we get the life mastery. Let me introduce our both the esteemed guests. One is the primary guest we have, Krishna Nilkantan sir. He's been having almost 27 years of global exposure in learning and development, and of course, talent development. He's a strategic thought leader, an expert in performance management, change management, project management, instructional design, and of course, design thinking, and many more. If I speak all everything he's been expert, probably we will be spending the whole time into it. And I also welcome Dr. D, Dr. Gautam. We call him with our love and respect, Dr. D. So he is a CFO turned a life doctor and a business coach, a relationship coach, who's been with Pepsi, Unilever, Motorola, Supermax. These are few of the big names wherein he has really created a big mark there. He's chairman, India Coaching Federation, and of course, Navi Mumbai Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So very, very warm welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for joining this evening. Neelkan sir, first I will get back to you. Uh, when I talk about, I have been into training for quite some time. So when I talk about training, uh, there is something wherein I go to classroom, I go to conferences, or maybe sometime outbound training. I talk about it. I train them for a particular subject and come out. How much impact is there? It depends totally on person to person how much receptive the ex person was. However, when we talk about coaching, it is like changing the mindset from inside out. However, I'm still not very clear in terms of the basic difference between training and coaching, and I would love to take your notes on that.
Thank you. And first of all, thanks for having me in this call. And I watched a few of your episode. A good fan of what you are putting together. Thank you for doing this. I think the learning for a learning community is always missing, and I guess you're filling that gap beautifully.
Thank you.
Right. So, Bartik, answering your question, right? I guess my take on training and coaching and this thing is a little different. So sometimes what we get into is we put training for the heck of training, and we confuse training as an engagement activity in many of the endeavors with the business. So we wanted to show something as L&D professionals, so we put a training in place and say, okay, now we're going to go through the program. My philosophy around that is a little different. I kind of clearly distinguish training as an engagement activity, and I would at times say I don't want to do that. But training as a performance improvement lever is where I focus on, right? And when I say that, why I make this distinction here is typically we talk about training need analysis, but there we talk about what is called as a capability need, right? But in the context of looking at holistically, we have to start looking at what is the capability need, what are the business needs that it is going to solve, what are all the environmental needs that it has to solve, which means to say what tooling should a person have to do his job well, what are the factors of non-skill related things that have to come into play, for example, motivations, right, recognition. So all of this have to come together for someone to perform. So the design and the need analysis at the training has to look at performance-centric need analysis rather than capability-centric need analysis. So that's the first distinction that would give us a continuation where we are able to see the learning being followed through and being implemented, right? The coaching is pretty straightforward here because I only sign up for a coaching in most cases when I inherently see that I need to change, right? So the pain is already felt, or the excitement to change towards something new has already been felt and been accepted by the participant of the program or the coaching intervention. then hence it is more linked to a tangible result that you can see on ground. If the commitment and the compatibility between the coach and the coachee is happening well, so you would start seeing results. There again, the goal as to what will I achieve over a finite period of time being set in terms of behaviors are very important, right? And this is how I try kind of make this distinction between performance-driven training and, of course, performance-driven coaching, and taking away training for an engagement aspect out of the equation of a corporate learning and development itself.
Wonderful. You made it so simple and so, it became easy. Just two major point, and I'm just clear on that. So, Dr. D, would you like to pay some light on what Sir said? You want to take it forward?
Yeah, I think really great question, Bharti, and I think Neil Kantan was explaining very well. Uh, and what is the use? Even he was also trying to focus on that. See, primarily when I have to define coaching and training, I define training as either skill development or competency building. And there can be n number of reasons why you require to do for n numbers of employee at a different level and different position in an organization. So it is purely either you are developing the skill of the person or you are building the competency in the person. Whereas coaching, I feel it is all about people transformation. It goes one step beyond, like, when you consider any training or skill development or competency building to an employee, first you have to understand that employee is a human being. So to understand whether this person is fit for the training or not, there the level of coaching comes. Like, you can provide and coach and train any number of people. Like, suppose in your department there are 50 people are there, you can train them all, but all 50s are not going to have the same result when they perform, because that depends upon their individual capability of being a human being, how their grasping power is there relating to that particular subject matter, and how they are going to be trained and how the output is going to come. Coaching goes a level beyond and it try to dealt with the people itself. If the person is not up to a mark to be get trained, make the person trainable. Let coach the person to be eligible to be trained, because each and every individual having the same kind of mindset. And you see, like, suppose our another guest comes from an IT background, so he having a lot of computer and IT engineers in his company and organization. So suppose he is having thousands of engineers and IT professional in an organization. Minimum eligibility might be a computer engineer or that. So they are all same qualified. There might be coming from a similar kind of certification and eligibility criteria and experience and the technical qualifications, but are they able to perform all equally? No. Everybody's performance will be different, which is based on their own being, how that human being is there from inside, and that transforming that being, that human, is the role of I say the coaching. So we make people transform as a human being to make them capable employee or a leader at whatever the level they are. And that is the reason you see nowadays there is a huge demand of coaching has able to come in all the part of the organization business, when we talk about Fortune 500 company in India and all over the world, because it is the coaching who lets you the one of the requirement what kind of training you are going to provide. Suppose you are going to provide financial understanding training to somebody,
Mm.
do you know that the person is capable of understanding financial capability?
True, true.
A coach can make that person capable enough, refined enough. Is there any prerequisites for the person to get into understanding something else before we can send him for a finance training or a IT training or a whatever training it is required? So, assessing the capability of the person, making the person ready to be transformed and learn is the role where the coaching is more important. And rest, after identifying the gap, identifying the capability of the person, ki yes, now he is trainable, then you can provide him the skill development and competency development training that will work more better way. So I think that is one thing, Bharti. One more point I just wanted to highlight it here. Training is always unidimensional. When you train somebody on Java, he will learn Java. When you train somebody on finance, he will learn finance. When you train somebody on swimming, he will learn swimming. But coaching is multidimensional. When you transform the person, you basically transform the personality of the person.
Mm.
And when you transform the personality and decision making of the person, the same person is going to make the decision in their life also, in their career also, in their business also, in their relationship also. So, by just coaching and transforming the personality of the individual, you are making him perform better in all part of his life or her life, not only in career and not only the business he or she is managing in an organization as a leader or as a own business owner, but in her life or relationship also they are able to make better decision through the coaching. And it is 360, it is multidimensional. So that is the, I think, from my understanding, that is the way coaching is different from training. Both are related. Both are related and both are very mandatory and very much required. One dealing with the human being, another is dealing with the skills and competency of the human being. What kind of core skills and competency you require to train and transform the people. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. D. Actually, these were the thoughts in my mind, and you have put it almost everywhere, all the light. However, I would love to hear from NK sir also now. Uh, Sir, I want to know your perception or your thought process on the same thing. How a coach can help, uh, uh, a trainee who's into skill development, or how he can enhance the skill development of a person. Because, see, if we talk about skill development, if we talk about these particular trainings, we can reach out to many, but when we talk about coaching, we really cannot reach out to many at one point of time. So, how is that the kind of a change can bring into that person who is more into skill development, who's not realizing that this is my requirement? Suppose I have some trauma, suppose I have something from my past, and I just don't want to work over it. I want to be an individual contributor. I don't want to take a lead role because this is my fear that I really cannot lead a team. And I'm very good at skill. And you keep giving me this skill development program. I will keep enhancing from Azure to this platform to that platform to cloud everywhere. But at the same time, at one point of time, my real potential is not getting exposed just because what Dr. D has said, that transformation is not happening. So, at a larger level, how can we get into this wherein you, as my coach, can work over me, not only me, there are thousands of people who have something on other or the other. How is that bridge we can put into the place?
Sure. So I think the just to take off from where Virender was mentioning is, see, the training part is more to me a formative education that we provide to bring up skills, as he said. Then now on the job dimension that comes in, right? So I've got myself to acquire some amount of knowledge that is required on a given body subject, be it behavior or be it technical. But when I go on the job and I start performing on the job, here is where coaching really plays a significant role in terms of improving on the job performance, right? So this, in my view, is always done where managers play the role of a coach. When managers act as a coach, not like, okay, am I getting the job done from you? If that is the responsibility of the manager, then there is the ecosystem has no coaching as a culture, right? If the managers are able to observe the behavior that is demonstrated by individuals on ground, be it taking responsibilities, be it moving to a team leadership role, if someone is reluctant, as you said, right, to taking up that, why is this reluctance coming? What can be done to elevate that? And it is a conversation. It's not your idea that you're thrusting on that person, but get that person to realize by support, by introspection, and by providing certain scaffoldings as to how that person can move forward. So there, one essential piece to me is managers should be the coach and not just extractor of work and work outputs. That will change the difference between the conversation that managers and team have. The second point that I want to call out is in terms of it starts from even the goal setting exercise from a organization construct of annual goal
Wonderful.
setting or quarterly goal setting, correct?
Wonderful.
Here are places where the managers can identify coaching opportunities which will improve performance. Not necessarily wait to see the performance and then start figuring out, okay, you need an intervention, right? The third and the most important piece is uh, be respectful of the fact that you might not be able to coach that person on a given scale, but find the right person who would be able to skill this your employee or your team member to elevate this performance, right? Three
Absolutely.
of these abilities or a mindset should change in the manager, and manager being the coach is the essence of the whole fabrics of replication and scale. Otherwise, you can't have five people being trained and certified as a coach in an organization. They can bring the discipline of coaching into the organization and train people, but every single person has to play the role of a coach to lead the organization towards a collective culture of coaching.
Absolutely. So true. And so clear. Yeah. And one more thing, the last question. Whenever we are getting into this, so I'm just getting pop up in my mind, and I have two people to answer, so I know to take an opportunity. So now I want to know, somebody is really skilled, somebody is really, really knowledgeable, wonderful person, and he or she has a little bit of showmanship also in terms of, leadership role. However, how is that, how can I make my growth into fast pace, or I'm this age and I want to become maybe regional head, global head, whatever, at this age. So where other people are taking maybe 15, 20 time, 20 years. However, I just want to put a catalytic uh, agent there, and I want to reach maybe next 10 years. So do you feel that coaching has a role there in terms of fast pacing the career growth?
You're asking me?
G, sorry, NK,
Sure.
yes.
Okay. Right. Coaching does play a significant role there. In fact, more than training won't help here at all. Training is after you've found out the path and you know what the intermediate steps are. You may have to bridge some skill gaps that you have, right? But coaching is very, very critical here. And before that, one step backward is see, if I would like to become someone at some level at some point in time in tenure of time, what is it that the person has to realize is that what skills capabilities are required, which is little easier to distinguish and figure out, and you can find some insights and information available. But what is very difficult to get to understand easily is what behaviors do they exhibit, and how is that behavior different from what is the behavior at the previous levels, right? And what is the level of thinking that they are exhibiting, right? So this is what I call it as the altitude of thinking, right? For example, a CHRO of an organization has to think at an altitude, let us say 50,000 feet. But a team lead has to think at 5,000 feet, right? But if a person has to become a business manager in the next, say, 5 years, and the business manager operates at 10,000 feet, he has to start figuring out what is the 10,000 feet thinking. right? And
Yes, got it.
though the 10,000 feet thinking I'm saying is more metaphorically using that word, but the coaches here are able to give us that window of insights into the behaviors and the mental constructs as to how a business manager is able to think at 10,000 feet.
Yes.
Training cannot do it. Training is, as you said, one dimensional, but here it is the construct of your mindset, the construct of how you are going to behave differently, and how you prepare to do that behavior, demonstrate that behavior. And fourth, and the most important thing is coaching can help you build what's called habits, right? So habit formation is very critical for us to kind of move, have a behavioral transformation happen, right? And that is evident only from a clear coaching led growth, and then and no other option but to have a good coach. And there are organizations which provide such people who could kind of help you go there, right? So you maybe your manager is not able to give you that insight, but there are designated coach who can give you career advices and plot that career progression for you, help you think about what other roles are required in terms of behavior, thinking, your gravitas as to what is required to present at that different level. So that's why I strongly believe coaching is a great solution and for a problem like this.
Thank you so much, NK. So, just in the way you are saying, just getting into the in sync of that, I just could remember something. I was having a outbound workshop for couples in Goa, and I did find out there. One of the participant, uh, he had certain challenges in terms of parents, the parents, discordial family, and this, that, so and so. Because of that, the person is getting in this behavioral issues. What you're saying, maybe it can be addiction, maybe it can be anything. So when you say habit building and dismantling these things, so this is leading my question to you, Dr. D. How is that dismantling a particular thought process or a past or a subconscious design which has been done already? How do we get into dismantling so that, because I know at one point of time growth stops just because I get stuck in terms of maybe whatever reason, the whatever I have gone through, and every journey is like uh, I have seen every 15 people every Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I do get to see that there are so much within every heart that that stops them, that does not let them go ahead. And I really want your this thing on opinion on dismantling thing and past and thought process.
Yes. Thanks, Varti. I think it's a really great question, and I think in what Neil Kanthar was explaining is a really beautiful thing and really very important as for the growth
Yeah, it has gone to a different tangent.
coming out of this the mindset of and growing as a leader is concerned. See, I always say that yes, you can train a human being, you can train your employee and make them a peak performer or best performer. But if you need to retain that peak performer in your organization, you need to coach them. You can make that performer, high performer, better performer in an organization to any employee. But if you want to transform them to make a leader, you need to coach them. Because coaching is primarily dealing with the personality of the individual. And many of the people around their mid career, like after 5 to 6 years of being in any organization at a professional level, I'm not talking about the staff level, but at the managerial level, after 5 to 7, 10 years, they start feeling this challenge that they somewhere become very much technical expert in their functional area, whatever they are doing it. But what is next? It becomes a very challenging issue. And there, I would like to say that, like very rarely people has this solution. And when you are talking about the dismantling, I would like to say that, you just need to understand slightly how human design is structured. Each and every human being, we have born with a body and a mind. And when we born with a plain mind. We didn't know even how to talk and speak. So the personality through which we are operating and taking big decision as a manager or as a director or as a leader or a CEO in an organization, it is all our acquired personality. It has been acquired by all of us from our parents, from our class, culture, society, religion, law of land, later on through your education system, science, arts, commerce, your technical qualification, engineering, medical, masters, MBA, and all that, and your year of experience till in your life. This all accumulates and creates your strength and weakness through which you operate and take decision and impact your performance or success or whatever you do in your career also, in your business also, in your life also, and your relationship also. See, unless you are able to dismantle this personality which is acquired and you try to understand what is your real personality, what is your real passion, it is very difficult to create a path of ultimate success. You might be able to grow because in many organization, especially you see in the government organization, if you join as a management trainee and if you are an average performer, you will able to achieve up to a GM level or a director level through the time bound promotions and all that. Of course, it is not in private sector. Corporates are very dynamic, but still, when you start contributing on an average basis, still you will start growing in the organization. Sometime it will take you 20 years, 30 years, but is that much of time is available to you? And what kind of growth you are looking for? What kind of journey? Are you satisfied with that kind of growth? Are you satisfied with what you are doing? Like, each and every organization, they do have employee survey, satisfaction survey. And 70 to 80% of the top employee in Fortune 500 company, they are not satisfied with their work, what they are doing it. The reason is very simple. They are doing the work, they are managing the work because they are into good position, they are able to earn good money, and they have many liability to clear it off. There are many EMIs are there. They have their education of the kids, they have to pay their housing loan, they have to have their car loans, and everything is there. So here, unless you dismantle the personality and you discover who you are, what is your real personality, and how you can discover your real passion, then after discovering your personality and passion, you have the opportunity to create your future. And that future can be in existing field, that future can be in any other field, that can be any other field which you can go and try. And that is the ultimate way of looking after your own life or a career or your future as a human being. And that I call it a ultimate success journey of an people. Many of the people they become highest level of their position, they commit suicide. Many of the people they become big businessman, they die because of a stupid reason. But why? They doesn't know, because of their hard work, situations, circumstances, the environment in the company, environment in the market, in the country was very favorable, and they are able to start growing. Good set of people was there, they are able to grow. But why that success is not able to give the satisfaction and fulfillment to the person? You become a engineer, you have a dream to become a project director in the organization. You become a chartered accountant, you dream to become a director of finance in organization or CFO. But when you become that, why you are not happy, why you are not satisfied, why you are not fulfilled? It is all because of the personality you are operating from is our required personality, and it requires to be dismantled, Bharti. And fortunately, at our India Coaching Federation, this is the process we adopt. Any leadership training and coaching program or even a coach certification program, what we do, we help people first to discover your leadership, discover your
Percent.
human being inside you, who you are, what is the capability you are holding, what kind of capacity you have which you can create your future, and you can transform it better to become a true leader, true manager, true business owner, or true human being, true father, true husband, true wife, and you can enjoy in all parts of your life, whether you are in organization, whether you are in company, whether you are with your kids and family, whether you are in society, and whether you are in the position and profile you are holding it. That
Thank
is
you
very
so
much required. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. Thanks a
Bharti,
lot.
if I may just add to this, I think the doctor kind of brought out quite a lot of interesting points. One addition to that is uh, I got exposed to a little bit of a thought around unlearning of habits earlier, right? And I thought it might add to the conversation here. So first, in case in terms of unlearning a habit, which could be good habit, bad habit, or whatever, right? The habit, right? So is the acknowledgement. I think the conditioning that happens is, do you acknowledge that you want to change first? Then you need to
right.
sense that this particular event is happening, and when you sense this, you need to start looking for the trigger. What is the trigger that generates or creates or initiates that habit to be demonstrated? And habits are always followed by feelings which we don't really start figuring out, right? I mean, most of us don't even acknowledge that there is a feeling that goes through our body and that is not even recognized by us. We either ignore it by design or overlook it, right? So that gives us that, and then reconditioning, right, as to what would you like to replace it with, and you have to build another replacement of sorts to overcome this, right? And I think I will kind of quote what Gandhi did some time back, though it may sound quite cliched. The moment that he brought in to say that we don't use Western clothes, right? He could have stopped that and said, burn everything, don't use this thing. Until and unless you replace that vacuum with another homespun cloth, that means a vacuum has to be filled by something else.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
something else in this context of people in work is a behavior. So you have to replace one behavior with another behavior preceded by a trigger. Then your neurons are getting kind of wired up properly to react to it as it deems fit.
Wonderful, wonderful. This was, I don't feel like ending the show, to be very frank. It is becoming intense. I probably might invite one more time in case because loved your and Dr. D's opinion and understanding, and I could learn so much. So, thank you so much to both of you and to all our viewers. It was a wonderful, wonderful eye opener, and the kind of a points you have taken, and I can make out instructional design as your power because you were very quick on giving those pointers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you are just done. The viewers are ready, they know, they have jotted it down. Thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. D, for your
Thanks a lot.
insight upon dismantling personality, knowing that who you are, and then leading your life. So it was wonderful, and thanks a lot. Uh, Good evening, good
Thank you.
night, hair. Namaste.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Bye bye. Bye bye.